Good morning, lunatics. Welcome to Morning Java. Morning Java brought to you, as always, Dan, by our good friends, our very, very, very good friends at the Get-Go Cafe and Market, where you can get a very, very, very good burger.
Yeah, it's funny when you think about the drives that you and I make and all the times we stop for burgers, it does take an extra second of thought to go, oh, yeah, they have them too, and they're actually really good, made by a chef.
Like, people sometimes think that we don't, eat there, but we get literally disappointed when we go on a trip and we don't pass a Get-Go because there aren't always food options.
Or the time in Reynoldsburg when we actually went 7 miles out of our way because we knew that there was a Get-Go off because you were checking. Anyway, let's talk sports. How about that? The Pirates are in a strange spot going into this weekend's series against Milwaukee. They, you want to get behind them, and then you do. And then they lose by 10 or 12 runs, and then you give up on them, and then they just play well again. It's like, what is this bizarre season?
I don't know. I mean, it's so weird because we went in touting the pitching staff, right? And then there's just been all of the injuries.
Yes, legitimately.
All of the issues. They never wanted to bring up Mitch Keller before they had to. Obviously.
Also legit, by the way.
Obviously, that was an issue. But now we're looking at this situation where if you're not watching them play the Dodgers or the Diamondbacks, they're a pretty good baseball team.
Yeah, but that's no way to be competitive over the long run. And I guess what bothers me the most about this team is that we also saw stretches early on and at different points where they were competitive with those better teams, but that's because they were going out there with all their starters.
Yeah, they have to have the pitching staff. I mean, and not just the starters, but, I mean, they've been trying to plug a seventh-inning hole for a ton of the season.
Oh, I say since day one.
Yeah, I mean, it's an issue, and now when you lose an extra guy and you're plugging fifth, sixth, seventh-inning holes, I mean, Vasquez didn't even get to throw when I saw him
Let's call it like it is, though. The guy who's been the biggest disappointment out of all of this the injuries themselves are the biggest disappointment, but the individual who's been mostly healthy has been a disappointment is Chris Archer. And he's just not getting it done. That has nothing to do with the trade. I'm talking about just Archer as an individual and what you would expect from him.
Yeah, no, he's just got to go out and get it done. And I think that if he, the real veteran of the staff, if he goes out and he gets it done, then maybe you start to see Joe Musgrove be more like the Joe Musgrove from his first couple starts.
Without feeling like he needs to be some superstar every time he takes the mound.
He doesn't need to strike out 10 guys every time he goes out there. Just get some consistency out of the staff, no matter who's on it,
This wide receiving core that the Steelers have set up, are you a believer? And I'm not. The Juju thing is number one. I'm sorry, I take that as a given. There's no way you do the special things that he's done for 2 years and say, well, I don't know, we'll see if he's a number one. I'm sorry, that's a number one receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, no, and he's been so capable. I mean, really over the last year when we watched him making the catches like down in Jacksonville, when he went down the sidelines, went up high. Now, it wasn't rated the best catch of the game. I'm going to stay adamant that Vance McDonald won that game with that end zone catch, but he goes up, he gets that ball, and he did it a few more times down the stretch of the season. He did everything he could, Juju Smith-Schuster, to try and get the Steelers into the playoffs.
No, high point, strong hands, something Carter is a term that he uses a lot. When you go up for the ball, but that you're also solid on it. Now, that said, Carter has also been critical in his film studies of Dante Moncrief for the same thing, where you've seen Moncrief because he's faster than Juju. He's faster than maybe anybody on the roster. But he doesn't have that same go get the ball, bring it in, and pull it in, fight for it.
Yeah, something happened to him when he lost Andrew Luck.
Well, yeah, he started playing with bad quarterbacks.
Yeah. But confidence-wise, everything, he had the injury that he dealt with in Indianapolis, and then he never came back and had anything with Andrew Luck because of everything that happened with him. So I just don't think there was any type of consistency.
Right.
People used to say that about Ben Roethlisberger. He's going to miss a few games a season. He's this and that. Well, Ben Roethlisberger doesn't really miss too much action anymore. And, there's a capable guy or two behind him. So I don't know. I like Moncrief coming into the season, getting a chance to be with a big-time quarterback who's not going to fail him throughout the season.
And ideally Moncrief, and this is something that he and I have spoken about, meaning Moncrief, that he would diversify his game. He's not just going to be the one-trick pony that goes down the sideline, and he has to be able to come back to the football, get those 18, 20-yard catches as well. Beyond that, you're looking at Deontay Johnson primarily. Your impressions of him in OTAs?
Yeah.
As much as all the usual qualifiers.
Yeah, it's so tough because he's getting the ball from Mason Rudolph. He's getting it from Dobbs.
Still a football.
It's still a football, but you're not really seeing, at least I'm not when I'm there, I'm not seeing them go out in a package and work through a skeleton.
It is what it is.
So it's tough. Every once in a while it's Rosie Nix lobbing a ball to the corner of the end zone as he likes to do. So
those are the hardest catches, right?
They sure are.
When the fullback's throwing.
My big wild card, though, is going to be Vance. Because he's going to be the guy that is both a safety net and an outlet. And if he can stay healthy, and
I was about to draw the big asterisk here because he does.
He needs it.
He does. And as Dale Lawley wrote about for the site yesterday, he's got depth in Xavier Grimble, but we don't know exactly what that's going to be. The lovely city that you see in the background here might not be Phil Kessel's home for a lot longer. It can't be any clearer at this point, including the stuff that I heard from within the Penguins a month ago, that he's gone. Do you have any thoughts on that, first of all? Just the plus, minus, the good, the bad of that. Never mind what might come in return.
Yeah, it comes up literally every live cues, and I'm sure it'll come up today. It came up last week when I tried to not talk about sports at all. But
that never works, by the way.
Phil Kessel is going to be awfully hard to replace, regardless of whether it's a 25-goal season, a 40-goal season, because no matter the shortcomings, no matter how much you want him to go out and put out 100% effort, he's still like the number 4 scorer on the team, and you just can't make those numbers up.
And number 5 among all right wingers in the National Hockey League. However, my counterpoint to that, and I'm not even going to get into the intangible stuff, the other stuff that I've written about here, the fact that Mike Sullivan obviously doesn't like him very much or whatever. Just hockey, when you're talking about 82 points, yes, that's hard to replace. However, the overwhelming percentage of his points came on the power play. It's not like the Penguins don't have another forward ready to step onto the first unit. There's a 40-goal scorer who was left off of that mix.
Yeah, here's my issue with that, is I really like Jake Gensel in front of the net.
Right.
And the guy that I want him to replace on the power play is Patrick Hornquist.
Okay.
So now
But that's all right.
Yeah, no, it is all right, and I believe he probably could play on the half wall.
So let's do that. Let's do that right now. And the number one thing, you take Phil... completely off the franchise.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you put Jake out there as your net front guy. But just go with it, because there's more to net front than just, this isn't 30 years ago where the net front guy had to be an inside linebacker. It's now more about tips, deflections, redirects, and all that other stuff. Jake's fantastic at that stuff. So, Gino and Sid with him up front. Letang and Schultz. 2 defensemen on your points.
See, I might like Bukestad. Now I know that they give up a lot of shorthanded goals.
That's interesting.
But Bukestad isn't afraid to shoot like Phil Kessel was.
And he sweeps in off the boards.
He likes to play low.
Yes.
He's going to be good at possessing the puck down low.
Right?
I talked to him about it on a road trip when he was looking at stepping in for Patrick Hornquist, and he said he liked to battle low and possess the puck. I was asking him about, dude, you've got this cannon, this sniper shot that you unleash every once in a while.
But he uses that too. That's that thing where he comes in off the boards, and that's actually, by the way, when Phil's been at his most effective. That's neat. Very different.
Yeah, but you can't give up goals on the power play either, so.
2 defensemen.